Ladies and gentlemen, in this video we have two special guests that's sure to bring some real sauce for you guys. First up is Adrian Dimac, who's generated over $1 million in sales through e-commerce and is now teaching others how to do the same. And his friend Chaso, who also does dropshipping and has built his own agency. Their links will be put in the description down below, so be sure to check them out. They're here today to talk about business, life, and other valuable tips to help you reach the next level. So stay tuned because trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Creating a business can be as simple as 7 steps, as I've shown you on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
That's literally like at max 7 steps for each thing. You know what I mean? 7 steps, 7 steps, 7 steps.
7 steps before you make it to the goal.
It's not that hard.
I feel like people make it way harder than it is, just because
There's a lot of certain parts to the entire puzzle. You know
of course, but like I feel like sometimes people overcomplicate it too much, in a sense where like they don't really like take in what they're doing. They just kind of do it.
They just do it.
They just do it. They don't try to like use their resources like YouTube or like Google.
They do it without tracking. And
Yeah.
tracking is the most important thing. Like if you're able to take note of everything that you have done, and you were able to create like a step-by-step process that gets you to complete that task quicker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no reason why you should fail, because then after that it's just discipline afterwards. It's just can you complete it? Can you get through step 1, then the second step, then the third step? It's like everything that we've learned from like since high school. It's just that after high school either people get lazy or they actually figure something out where they can apply it to their life to become a better version of themselves. But a lot of people don't do that. You know, they get sucked into the college lifestyle of partying, getting drunk, not knowing why you wake up hungover as fuck, not drinking enough water, not eating healthy, not actually studying. I have no problem against people that want to go to school, depending on their career, you know, but at least admit to yourself that, like, if you're at a young age and you're going to attend college and shit, are you mature enough to be there and actually focus on what you have to do?
True.
Because unfortunately, people find out too late that life is not a fairy tale. Life is about taking action and suffering. And as much as you go through the joyous of joys, you also got to go through a harsh and shit reality before you actually see progress, not even a win. Progress.
It's true.
Fuck the win. What about the progress? Because I always thought that the finish line for me just keeps on getting farther and farther and farther and farther.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Like there's no end goal. It's just we just gotta live. We just gotta live life.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
But why do you think people get to like that point though? Because I feel like for me at least, like after a certain point, like I started realizing like this isn't what I want, and I kind of just like got into that kind of mindset.
Because I think it comes to a point where you start becoming more conscientious and asking questions on whether or not this particular group has any beneficial impact to you for years to come. You got to think long term, just not in the short term of things, because everybody's so used to these short hit dopamine hits, you know what I mean? But not a lot of people are willing to go the extra mile, the extra 2, the 3, the 4. And the way that you got to do that is by choosing what type of energy you want to attract. That's why you're here right now. And that's why you said earlier, yo, I feel so happy right now. Why? Because you feel elevated. You're starting to learn more. You're starting to see that this can be this is a stepping stone to making progression, not even winning, just progression.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean?
It's I think that's where like for my case specifically, I find like the most joy as well, because it's like I have a firm belief that if there's no such thing as being stagnant, it's either you're improving or you're deteriorating. And especially us being humans too, it only goes one or the other. If you look at someone, for example, working out, they're gonna work out. People who do work out progress and they get better and their bodies get better, their health is better and all that stuff. People who don't, they get fat, they get lazy, they are unable to work as much, or unable to move in general. And that's just not a life I want to live, to be honest.
No, you always want to be on the move, you know? life is about evolution, you know? There has never been a moment in history where evolution has ever stopped. You know, you start looking into the particular revolutions, like the Industrial Revolution, the, the Internet Revolution, the AI revolution that's about to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how it works. And people are hopping on these things and they're starting to use it as a tool to make more money. Like, this AI shit is interesting, dude. The way that it can allow people to systemize particular tasks throughout the day that are very, very important and crucial, and a crucial puzzle piece of the whole piece of the puzzle, or at least to complete that whole goal. It's useful as hell. Like the script that I talk about.
Yeah.
In Otter AI, ChatGPT, to rephrase. And then there's other platforms out there that can help you distribute the content and just grow. It's interesting how, like, everything's evolving. So you as a person, if you're seeing these things evolve, there's a person and a mind behind that is making that happen. So what you have to do, learn from the person that is doing that, figure out a way to absorb their energy, whether that be through books, podcasts, or, I don't know, YouTube videos, and apply it. You can't just read and not do shit. What the fuck did you read? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that. I don't know why people don't listen and then not implement. Like, where's the action there?
Yeah. I'll go off of that tangent though.
Yeah.
If you had to go, like, if you had to speak to a younger individual, like, we're in our 20s right now, so let's say someone who's like 16, right? Still in school and such, and what would be like their process in your head? How would you tell them to level up to that next level? Like, how would they be able to get to their, let's say, 10K per month? What should they do to get there? What should they focus on?
What is my first step? It's picking who you want to surround yourself by. Everything in the universe is energy. Everything is a transfer of energy. So you have to pick and question, which is your first step. Is that the energy that you want to attract? Is this the energy that's going to elevate you? Or are you just going to fucking delete and be absolutely nothing? Because a lot of people, they're nothing. They're fucking zombified little aliens that walk around with a fucking phone in their hand, a device, and they don't even know why the fuck they have it. They spend so much fucking money to get that phone and do nothing, when that phone can fucking make you a shit ton of money. Or create a life that is fulfilling. But you gotta, if you're 16 years old and you want to get started on this stuff, you gotta ask yourself, what type of energy do I want to attract, and then what is my first step? And then once you write that out, and you start, you know, finding the people that you want to attract, you'll start to win. And it takes a while for you to attract those right people. It really does. It took me years, because at 16 years old, I knew exactly who I didn't want to hang out with. I knew exactly whose energy I wanted to attract, and I knew what type of content that I wanted to watch. It just took a very long time to find that person, because you're going to have to stand there and sit there alone for a very long period of time. And you have to get comfortable with loneliness. And that comfort with loneliness is the opportunity in that window where you have to personal development all the way. And then as soon as you're able to control this, without you even asking the world, without you even asking the universe anymore, it'll just happen naturally. It just happens. When you force it, it'll never work out.
Okay, I remember now. My question was, for someone starting off, how do you suggest, like, they network? Because, like, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that much.
How do they network?
Like, how do you get your foot in the door to, like, start networking? Like, not even, like, you don't have to network with, like, millionaires, billionaires, doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, kind of, like, find a group around you, like, find a solid circle. Like, how do you suggest people do that?
Well, number one, you can't go around networking without a skill. So you gotta build a skill first. You gotta build a skill first, right?
Yeah.
But what did you do when you started networking? Because if you're questioning if that was wrong, that's kind of right. You did the right thing.
Yeah. So
it comes with a price.
Yeah.
Right? And though somebody wouldn't respond to you, you found another person that would be interested in taking you on.
Yeah.
What do? You paid him for a mentorship, or you gave your time,
Yeah.
and you made the person's life easier. So you got to sit there, and if you want to network, you got to build up a skill, and you need to provide as much value as possible to make that person's life easier at whatever the cost. It could be free, it could be you pay them. All you're trying to do is just get their respect. Because that respect, that work, these people, you know, they got to play it safe. It's just like, it's the way they are. It's business. It revolves around building. And and if the person doesn't want to build, what is the reason of you being there? You know what I mean? But you got to ask yourself, okay, this person made 100K, this person made $1 million. How can I 10x their net worth while I 10x mine? Because if I 10x their net worth, that guarantees your 10x too.
Yeah.
So what can your $10,000 per month skills or $10,000 per year skills, how can you cater those skills to a business that operates under $1 million per year, $10 million per year, so then they can 10x that?
Sauce, bro.
So do free work. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. Like dead ass. Like I've never with you too, bro. Think about this shit. You can't make this shit up. How long have you been in the Discord?
Since like August.
You've been helping out with that, and I see those messages every single day. Those don't go unnoticed. And what has that done?
And helped me improve to this point. Now I know a lot more than I did in August.
Now you know a lot more than you did in August. But how long did you have to wait?
Months.
And it happened naturally, right?
Yeah.
You didn't ask for it. What did I do? I hit you up?
It hit me up. We talked for like literally less than 5 minutes. It was
Less
like
than 5 minutes? Yo, do
text
this.
messages.
Boom, 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 boom. Now you're here. Now what? You're learning. Things just happen. They happen for a reason. Execute on the moment. You know? Bro, he's been on fucking Will's fucking Discord for a minute, bro.
Yeah.
How long?
And he's been providing the fucking daily motivation.
Yeah,
It's like all this shit every single day. I'm like, fuck, man.
But he's
And then I
actually
heard that you were in Toronto. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit this guy up. What happened? It happened naturally. What did you do? You just did. You made lives easier. You showed that you are disciplined. You showed that you care. And now we get to appreciate the rewards. And we get to learn more. So everything happens for a reason. You don't just you do shit, but you also do shit with being optimism. Optimistic as fuck, and you're good. But yeah, man,
That's a
appreciate
fire
you for
question.
doing that, for real.
Fire question?
Yeah, it's a fire question. I like that.
Yeah. I agree. Well, like, you definitely have to offer something. Because why would a millionaire want to work with you if you're a nobody? And that's like the hard truth, but that's true.
Yeah.
What can you offer them?
Value is the exchange of value is the most important thing. And those things don't go unnoticed. They know. It's just a matter of whether or not they have time or they can put the energy into being transactional. Whether that be money, time, or sauce, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, one last question. Or if you have another question, I'll be
I don't have a question right now.
in your experience, this is just like a general question.
Yeah.
How do you know when you feel like you found that circle, or like when you feel like you're on the right path? How do you know? What's like a clear indicator to you, like
That when you step away
yeah,
and you start hanging out with old circles, that it pisses you off.
that's crazy.
I like that one.
That's when you know,
I like that
bro.
one.
That's when you know.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I promise you, dude. That's
or
when
when
you
you
know.
like kind of get out of that mindset where like if you had like an old friend group and you always go back to them, you kind of just stop. Like you distance yourself. You're not going back to them anymore. Like
Because it pisses you off.
yeah.
Like you don't really. You don't admit to yourself that it pisses you off, but then at the end of the day, it adds up to it just pisses you off.
Exactly.
It's like you got to be able to operate on the same wavelength as other people in order for that to be a bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because these bonds can happen from miles and miles away. Remember that one story I told you about that fucking like I was in Miami, his buddy was in fucking Toronto or some shit, Hamilton, whatever the fuck it is. And then, bro, I literally texted my sister that day, and I was like, yo, fuck, I need pictures of my 2018 grad yearbook do you have any pictures of me playing basketball or something like that?
Yeah.
Right? So at that same time, we were operating at the same wavelength, and this person fucking sends me a message saying, like literally 28 minutes later type shit, it was so cool, a picture of me in a yearbook for 2018 playing basketball. And I'm like, yo, how the hell did this girl fucking send me that message when I just said that 28 minutes before that I needed from my sister?
Yeah,
Bro, that's just the weird, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's just a transfer of energy. We just happen to be at the same wavelength,
Yeah.
you know, feeling the same way and shit like that, and it just,
I'm not gonna lie, after you told me that situation, that's when I was like, damn, that's actually like a real thing.
like, everything is energy. You get to choose what you
bring around you?
who you bring around, what type of group you bring around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a strong brotherhood that's being built right there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's only gonna rise.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy too, because like for me at least, I knew you guys for like, let's just say 6 months, and like I'm super close to you guys now. It's like, you know, like a daily thing now. So it's like, it's fucked. Like in a short, because 6 months is not that long when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's really like little. And in those 6 months, we've been able to do like so much. Right?
much,
Like so much shit. It's just like the start. Even with like you, man, it's like even from like 6 months ago when we were editing videos and shit.
Yeah.
Like with like Florian and all them, right? Like
So
just so
being
much
here now is
like
crazy.
Yeah, so much progress you can make in little time if you actually like connect with people, I guess. People that have like the same goals as you and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's interesting. But yeah, no, certainly. I feel like it's just when they piss you off. Like, if they piss you off, then it's just like you shouldn't be there anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Another way of saying that or seeing that is like when you step into the room or within that circle and like you feel like you're the smartest person in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know, it just feels different because then it's like you're giving out more of your energy than you are able to even receive in return, in the sense where it's, I don't know, maybe it's just I prefer being like kind of the smallest person in the room so I can try to learn as much as I can as well. But whenever you're in a situation where you're one of the higher ups, we'll say, people will tend to ask you for a lot more or use your time a lot more or something like that. And in situations like that, right, what would you think are the best ways to avoid it without like causing too much destruction within like those circles or anything like that? Like,
No, I mean, like, the destruction within those circles is like, it's inevitable. You know what I mean? It can happen. But to the circles that you choose it to be. Here's the thing, is that when it comes to being the smallest person in the room, right, or the least smartest, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. The fact that you're saying that means that you had an issue trying to challenge yourself, because what's happening right now is that when I was drawing up those whiteboards, when I was telling you these things, I was challenging you, and you accepted that challenge. But how often are you actually taking action and challenging yourself to do certain things? So you have to challenge yourself. It's you versus you. It's not me telling you what to do. It's you versus you. At the end of the day, it's you and you.
you're right.
I'm challenging you, but how often are you challenging yourself? You know what I mean? You have to do that every single day. That's why we create to-do lists the night before, or maybe the week for the entire week. Challenge yourself and meet it. And then on top of that, you get to choose who you want to be challenged by. You can either, choose to be challenged by your parents, choose to be challenged by a loved one, choose to be challenged by a boss. But at the end of the day, it all funnels back down to you.
It's scary, the stuff that like the world makes us digest nowadays, bro. When you think about it, like the whole way that the system's life is kind of programmed and how they want to put us through it, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But like somebody's gotta do it though.
Somebody's got to do it.
That's the way the world works. And that's when you start getting so like deep into it, you start realizing so many different things. Like, only way you could win is if you do the same shit. At the end of the day, that's how it is.
But with the AI revolution that's happening now, like my take on it is that like a lot of jobs are already gonna lose, pretty much, or a lot of jobs are gonna disappear because, for example, I was talking to my brother about this, but literally like, because he's 16 right now and he got his first job. He's just a grocery clerk, but I'm like literally like the way the world is moving. We're no longer going to need anybody in the grocery stores. Fast food restaurants, you're not necessarily going to need anybody over there either. We have self-driving cars, so like even stuff like Uber and whatever, that's not really going to be a reliable source of money in a sense after some time. But for someone to want to elevate from that, how like, aside from just reading and taking action, like, would you say there's anything else that they should be implementing as well?
Learning from others, or learning what people. I mean, this game is just an action-oriented game, and along with that action ties down to your beliefs. Your beliefs are tied down to your ability to be conscientious and aware of certain things, and questioning and asking a lot of questions, just questions you could have never thought of, you gotta ask. The AI talk and stuff like that is interesting because a lot of people are gonna get replaced. You know, the movies that you see on the internet, like the movies that you've seen about robots, Wall-E, iRobot, all these iRobot with Will Smith and shit like that, all these other crazy Chappie video movies and shit like that. These are just like ideas and outcomes that could happen from a mind of somebody above us that's controlling the media. These are just ideas, and these ideas are just brought to all these media companies, and then they make that idea into a script, into a visual, into a story. These ideas are happening, yes, in the mainstream media, but also in the background, behind the scenes. It's actually being built out, and these are just hypothetical. Like, these are just ideas. It's an outcome at the end of the branch that could possibly happen. That's what those movies are telling me. So then you remember, who used to watch that Netflix series? I forget what it's called. Maybe it's called Black Mirror. These guys playing these video games and they're locked in.
I know about it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I've seen.
There's this guy and this other guy, and they would play this video, hook themselves in, and they would, his boy, they're both guys and shit like that, but they play this video game where they hook in, and one character's a guy and another character's a girl. Very attractive characters and shit like that. And the fucking boys start fucking and shit like that. Bro, they started fucking. So imagine you and you are in a video game. You're the girl, you're the guy. And y'all just started fucking and shit like that.
Or am I you and you?
Bro. I'm telling you. But listen, so they hook their shits up, right? That's an outcome. And who's building these fucking Neuralinks right now? Elon fucking Musk. What else has come out? V-fucking-R.
Oh yeah.
What else has come out? Platforms like Wall-E and fucking what is it called? Or DALL-E and freaking D-ID, which is just like a software where you can turn a photo into an animated character that can speak. And then there's also other platforms. Yeah. There's other platforms like voice synthesis, like 11 Labs. Dude, there's so many AIs out there that will just make art and creation to so much more different. It's insane. So it's interesting. Like, the people that use this shit is going to make a lot of money. That is guaranteed. And I'm trying to teach it. It's fun.
What are your thoughts on women?
I like them. I like them all. You feel? I mean, like, you know, like I have my standards and shit like that. Women is cool. I respect them. Western culture women is kind of like, I don't know, bro. Like, they're just a different breed. know. I'm not too focused on it right now.
Makes
I'm kind of
sense.
just gonna allow it to happen. You know what I mean? Something
Yeah.
doesn't work out, it's alright. It's not supposed to. It wasn't meant to be. Just like having that, like kind of like that faith, like that universal kind of just following that and understanding that and being more aligned with how that operates.
Yeah.
You'll be a lot more content when something doesn't go your way in a particular relationship. It's just, you just gotta kick it to the curb and move on about your life. Use it as motivation or something like that.
Yeah, facts.
Like women's school.
Facts.
Women's school.
Something that you said there too, when you mentioned standards, to me that's a very big thing too, because like I feel like even when people like want to have, in our case we're looking for women, right? But even for women who are looking for men, they just look without necessarily looking for, like knowing what they actually want to look for, right? Or knowing like they're non-negotiables, and I don't want this in a woman, I don't want that in a woman, or I don't want this in a man, I don't want that in a man. And just standards in general, like how much importance would you put on that?
I mean, it's certainly rise because nowadays, bro, I've had so many girls from high school hit me up, like the baddest bitches and shit like that. Like, bro, I've had a lot of them hit me up. I've hung out with a lot of them and shit. And it's interesting now, and you kind of question, and as hard as you try not to, you still continue to question whether they're just in it for who you are as a person, or if they just like what they see visually and for what you have to offer. And in most cases, it's for what you have to offer. What can you bring to the table? That's how it is as a dude, bro. Like, it's just like you got to be able to provide. So I see that now. It's crazy, dude. Like girls from high school be talking to me, and I'd never expect to see them or talk to them again. But it just happens after a period of time. Long wait the bitch that fucking broke your heart. Shit sucks. We should get driving.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so for someone starting off, just from like scratch, literally from scratch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot my question, bro. I literally had it in my head. I literally forgot what it was. That's why you don't fucking try, bro.